Welcome to Vernon Snowbike Season 5, Episode 18.
In this episode, we are back to an official head-to-head Timbersled versus Yeti, and we're playing around in the powder in the hills and trees.
And this is the most important head-to-head to us because we don't care much about riding on the trail.
Nope.
We're not very good at doing jumps.
Nope.
We love the trees.
Yep.
So let's get started by taking a look at a little bit of footage. All right, Andrew, let's get this official head-to-head underway.
Cue the music.
Since the beginning of time, mankind has wanted to see a pure head-to-head competition between snowbike titans. This is Timbersled versus Yeti!
All right, Andrew, let's get the official scorecard up on the screen. Now, folks, this scorecard is something we just made up. It's silly. We had a little bit of consultation with Timbersled and Yeti, but none of this matters. But this is how we evaluated things for the purpose of this video. So first, Andrew, we have hill climbing. And let's see, we gave Timbersled a 9 out of 10 and the Yeti an 8 out of 10. Now, the Timbersled is no surprise.
No.
It's been around for a long time. It's a long track.
Yeah.
And it climbs great. The big surprise was the Yeti. So it's only a 129. It's the SS version, so it's quite a bit skinnier. And it climbs like crazy.
Yeah, it climbs quite well, actually.
So why a little bit less of a score there?
Well, it's not quite as good as the Timbersled we found. Sometimes you have to hop into the other rider's track if there happens to be one in front of you, just to keep that momentum rolling.
Right, and as we've mentioned in previous videos, that Yeti track, once it starts to trench, it does like to complete the trenching and you get stuck. So it's not quite as good. Now, there might be plans in the works for next year for a new track that's not going to do that as much, but you didn't hear it from us. Top secret, hush, hush.
Top secret.
Let's move on to the next thing, downhill braking. Ooh, okay, so we have a really extreme scores here. We have a 10 out of 10 for the Timbersled because it's awesome.
Yeah.
That new closed system is brilliant. Never failed us once, and we love it. Couldn't get any better. Now, the Yeti, we haven't had brakes much of the entire season. We gave it a 2 out of 10.
We had to give him something.
We had to give him something because it has worked once or twice. Now, there is a warranty issue out there.
That's right.
We're going to have it fixed soon. We've already had it fixed once, actually, but we got one of the old rotors, I think, and it's not working. So I have a couple of close calls on really steep stuff where we're coming down. I have no brakes. I have trees on either side, and I just had to floss something ridiculously skinny. It worked out fine, but it was scary.
Very exciting.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Hill descending. How's that ski feel when you're coming down? So Timbersled, 10 out of 10. We went a little bit lower on the Arrow, on the Yeti at 8 out of 10.
The Timbersled skis just out in front of you a little bit more. It's very confidence inspiring. You feel really connected and you don't feel like you're over front of the ski too much, which I do find you feel a bit on the Yeti.
That's right. And the other thing is that ski is just so good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We've been raving about that new Timbersled ski all year, except if you're on the trail and it's hard packed. Then it's total garbage.
Dreadful.
But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about powder and in the hills and in the trees. Now, there's a distinction to be made there. We did say powder. So things are setting up now. These numbers don't apply for hard packed,
That's right.
side hilling, climbing, any of that stuff, because that would be a totally different scenario. Moving on to the next one, maneuverability. We went with a 7 for the Arrow and a 10 for the Yeti. That Yeti
so nimble.
is a sports car.
Yeah.
You could do like 3 little turns as you would only be doing 1 on the Timbersled.
It's incredible.
So when you're coming down or going up and in the trees and you're coming around a corner and you don't know what's going to be there, I can ride faster on the Yeti. You also have to ride a little bit faster on the Yeti, but I can ride faster on the Yeti because I know if I come around the corner, I'm going to be able to make a quick little flip or I'll weight my peg and I'm just going to go whoop, and go around the tree.
It's a pretty incredible kit for sure.
I don't think that could be any better. So 10 out of 10. Riding side hills. So, Andrew, we went with a 9 out of 10
For the Timbersled?
and an 8 for the Yeti.
Yeah.
So, once again, this is powder, not set up. I think there'd be a bigger difference if things were set up.
We're splitting hairs here again.
Yeah.
Too, guys. Like,
With that skinnier track and the Yeti spool up, sometimes that acid
just
kind
wants to squirt a little bit. Yeah.
It's minor though. They're both really, really good. And then descending to climb transition. So you're coming down the hill and this is where you're hacking a pretty hard nut and you want to change directions. You want to go back up the hill. So we gave the Timbersled a 9 out of 10. Great ski, great traction from that track. And then the Yeti got a 7. Ski's not quite as good. Track's a little bit narrower. Track might trench a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just you're not always going to be as successful when you're just winging it around really fast and trying to go zipping back up the hill. So our totals. Andrew, we have a 54 out of a possible 60, or 90% of the possible points for the Timbersled, and a 43, or 72% of the possible points for the Yeti. Now, if we had a good brake system on the Yeti,
they'd be really.
I haven't done the math, but it would be super close.
Yeah.
They'd probably be the same, at least according to this goofy scoring system that we've come up with.
That we've made up with, and doesn't mean anything.
That's right. So let's do our official winner thing, and then you're going to get to watch a little bit of more footage, and then we'll see you in a few minutes.
Stay tuned, folks. We do have 2 videos left this season.
Yeah, we've lumped, we have 2 more of these head-to-head ones. Well, officially we have 2 more segments, so jumps and drops for gimps like us, and cost of ownership. We're going to put those 2 together in one video, and then we're going to get together and just kind of throw the scorecard out, or maybe take a look at it, but we're really stepping back and going, how do you feel about each of these bikes? Because that's more important than these silly numbers. What would you like to have in an ideal world? Or if you could only have one, what would you do? So
Tough.
Stay tuned for that one. It's going to be tough, but I think we have some good insights to share. That's it, folks. Thanks very much.
Thanks, folks.